What's good, fam? We're almost at 3,000 subscribers, if not already. So yeah, I'm basically speechless. Anyway, yesterday I had a task on my to-do list to create a banner for my page, and I've just realized that I'm constantly trying to get things done just for the sake of getting them done. I don't really give myself space for being a little bit more creative. And yesterday I said, screw that, I'm gonna give myself as much time as I need. Essentially, I couldn't stop editing, I forgot to drink, I forgot to eat, and I was just editing until 6 AM. So it felt really good. It kind of brought back the old days. Even though I'm a little bit sleep deprived, but I thought I would share it with you. Not the entire thing, but the second part of it. I think it's gonna be extremely valuable tutorial, so stick with me and I'll try to get in depth with this. So I'm gonna create a composition 1920 by 1080, and I'm gonna use some assets from Motion Essence just so we got something to work with. You can use literally anything. It can be a photo, it can be a screenshot, whatever. So I'm just gonna drag Motion Essence 10.1, and we also need a logo. You can find it on the internet. I'm just gonna scale it down, and wait, we can see that. But we're gonna pre-compose that layer. Let's call it a logo of all attributes into the new composition, hit OK. And now we're gonna create a new camera. 35mm preset is OK. Let's hit OK. Drag the camera underneath and create a new null object. Now parent the camera to the null and rename the null to cam control 1. Now I'm gonna turn on the 3D layer on everything, and we're gonna open up the second view. So the logo is gonna be somewhere in the back, so we're just gonna increase the value for Z position. I think I went overboard. And then we kind of want to create a little triangle from the Polaroids. Let me just show you. So basically, we're gonna duplicate this one, then we're gonna play around with the orientation. We're gonna put it somewhere here. Basically, we wanna kind of create a tunnel going towards the logo. One more time. So it's not really a triangle anymore, but something like that should do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. So I'm just gonna select them all, hit P. And now with Z position, we're gonna drag one over here, then the other one also somewhere closer to the logo. We're gonna leave this one, and this one is gonna be closer to the camera, okay? So that's how it's looking from the side. Could actually adjust it a little bit. It's gonna be fine, but we need one more Polaroid that will basically create a transition. So we're just gonna slide that Polaroid through the screen, and then we're gonna replace what's in the background. So for this, we're gonna duplicate this one, put it on top. We could rename it to Motion Essence Transition, and then let's get it closer to the camera. I went overboard. So it's basically gonna go like that, and then we're gonna replace what's behind it when it's filling out the whole frame. So let's leave it here for now. Now focusing back on these 4 Polaroids, we're gonna set a keyframe for position. And I would like to add a little bit of movement just to make it more realistic. So maybe let's drag it somewhere here. And this one should be here. That one is gonna go from the left. And then the last one is gonna go like that. Okay, so that's the movement right now. I feel like we could actually reverse some of these keyframes. For example, this one, I'm gonna hit Alt R. Yeah, much better. Okay, so for now, I'm gonna go to cam control 1 and I'm gonna hit P. We're gonna move closer to the logo. I'm gonna take that logo. Actually, since it's the last thing, we're gonna put it right below Motion Essence here. Now with position, I'm gonna move it away a little bit, and let's create a movement. So we're gonna increase Z, select both keyframes, keyframe assistant, easy ease. Let's create a peak on the left. Okay, just a subtle movement. We could actually add Z rotation to this as well. So it's gonna go from the left. I'm gonna actually apply the same graph again. Could actually move a little bit backwards, and I'm gonna trim all these Polaroids to this position. Now let's duplicate cam control. We're gonna hit U, delete the last keyframes, parent 1 to 2, and we're gonna move backwards. Just like that. But now I'd like to also add a little bit of rotation when we're moving backwards. Actually, a lot of rotation. So we're gonna go with something like maybe 120, 110. Let's select all and use the mid graph, the pick in the middle. Okay, starting to look pretty good. And now we're gonna grab our transition and we're gonna adjust it with rotation. And I feel like we're gonna move it from the right to the left. And I'm gonna even increase the scale for this. Okay, so I'm gonna hit P. So let's set a keyframe for position and move it across the screen. Okay, it's definitely too early. Still too early. It's better, but we need to smooth out the keyframes. Mid graph should do. Mid graph is a bit too intense. I'm gonna go with something easier. That seems really good. I would also like to add a little bit of rotation here. So let's keyframe Z, and we're just gonna change the number to something like 90. And we're also gonna apply the same graph and increase the scale. So right at this moment, when we got everything fully covered, we can actually trim a logo. So now we got this effect of this logo disappearance. And now what I did in the original animation, I took ripped paper. Let's take full HD, 12.1. We're gonna put it right above a logo, and we're gonna turn it into 3D. Now I'm gonna open up properties for a logo. I'm gonna copy transform and paste it here. Okay, perfect. I want to reveal it a little bit later, somewhere here. And now we're gonna duplicate cam control 2. So we have the third controller. I'm gonna delete the last keyframes, parent 2 to 3. Let me just open up all the layers so you can see the keyframes for reference. So you see how I'm overlapping the keyframes? It's kind of in the middle of the previous graph. So basically that's how you achieve the smooth movement. So now I'm gonna go back with Z position, but also it'd be good to add a little bit of rotation over here. So we can go for a more positive number. I think it's gonna be too much, but let's see. We're gonna also increase Z position even more. Let's select them all and use the mid graph. Okay, starting to look pretty good. Let's adjust the timing. And I also added something in the background for a little bit of depth. I think it was when, yeah, let's drag it here. We're also gonna turn on the 3D layer and we're gonna copy transform and paste it into Motion Essence 9. And now with Z position, we're gonna move it further away, increase the scale, and we're gonna decrease the opacity to 20%. I think I went overboard, maybe 40. And also I'm gonna put Motion Essence 12 on top of 9, and I would like to have an effect drop shadow there. Just to separate one asset from the other, I'm just gonna set distance to 0, increase softness, and it should be nicely separated. So off and on, a bit of difference. Okay, let's just adjust the timing even more. Okay, that's perfect. Now we're gonna create a new adjustment layer. Like I showed you in one of the previous episodes, my 3 principles to 3D editing or something like that. We're just gonna add transform effect and wiggle the whole screen. But instead of that, I'm gonna use the plugin from Universe. I already have the shake prepared. Let's take shake handheld mid intensity. So basically it's Universe camera shake. It's paid. You can look it up if you want to. The reason why I really like that shake is basically that you get shake controls and you can separately adjust X and Y. So basically how much it shakes from the left to the right and then how much it shakes from the bottom to the top. So I really like adding shake that is more wiggly towards the sides. As you can see here, the amplitude X will be set to 50 and then Y is gonna be set to 10. But that's way too much. We're just gonna go with something like 50% and frequency 1.3 maybe. Alright, we got a foundation. Now we need to add some effects. So I'm gonna go to adjustment layer. We're gonna add vignette. We're gonna create another one. I'm gonna add Gaussian blur plus scatter. I'm gonna set it to, let's say, 30 and the scatter to 10. Now I'm gonna press the rectangle tool and click ellipse tool. Now let's double click the icon and we're gonna have a mask. All we need to do now is invert the mask and then change the mask feather. So now as you can see over here, we got a nice scatter plus Gaussian blur and it's only affecting the sides. So everything that is in the middle is quite sharp. Okay, it's looking really good already. One thing I showed you in the 3 secrets to 3D editing was adding depth of field. So we're gonna do it right now. I'm gonna move to camera options. Let's enable it. We're gonna increase the aperture to around, let's say 150 or maybe 100. I'm gonna open up the second window. Let's close it down. Let's make some room here. And now we're gonna make sure to just have the focus distance on After Effects logo. So from here, we're just gonna set a keyframe and we need to adjust it. So make sure that this rectangle is matching the logo. Now we're gonna move closer, so we need to set another keyframe and we're gonna adjust it one more time. And then once we're moving backwards, we can leave it like it is. And I'm just gonna copy that keyframe, paste it here, and we're gonna adjust the focus distance to the motion essence over here. I kind of want to have that blur more visible. Don't get me wrong, it's visible. It's like kind of blurry in the background right now. But if we went with, let's say 200 pixels, yeah, it'll be just better and heavier on the PC. Damn, I didn't reuse the depth of field for the banner and I kind of regret the decision right now. Okay, that's really sick. All we need to do is just spice up the logo. So I'm gonna add deep glow. I'm also gonna add tint, which I'm gonna put above deep glow. And maybe let's go ahead and add curves. And we're just gonna add more shadows. And I think I'm gonna add curves on top of deep glow. And now for the final touches, we're gonna head over to the ripped paper. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna add deep glow to the text. But it's very intense, so let's turn it down to 0.3. Also, the ripped paper has the noise effect, which I'm gonna turn off just because of the deep glow, because I feel like these two are not really looking good together. We got a really nice animation already. And now the most important part, which is adding the motion blur. Let's see. That's looking really good. I'm just thinking maybe posterized time would be a good idea. Let's try with 17. Okay, so that's how it's looking. Ooh, now I have a big dilemma. Which one's better? Damn, I think posterized time is better. What do you all think? You can let me know in the comments. Tough. I'm just gonna rename the layers for you so you know what's going on. By the way, you could do it all in one layer, but I just do it for the sake of clarity and faster turning off the layers. Now it's gotta stay with the posterized time. Made up my mind. It's actually looking really good for the time I spent here. You know, just recreating something is so much easier than just creating something from scratch. Took me way more time before. Wait up, let me pull up the banner. Kind of want to compare it. The banner is way better. But we've done a really good job here. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed this one. It was really packed with a lot of valuable tips. And if you want to improve your edits and speed up your workflow, check out Editing Shift in the description. So that's it for this tutorial. Make sure to subscribe and give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.